again, thanks for doing this. Yeah, so it's about your journey in music and how you got to where you are now. So why don't you tell me, where did you grow up?
Grew up small town Iowa, a population of like 500 people.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, little Sutherland, Iowa. That's where I grew up. Born in Denison. Yeah, I graduated with 53 people.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was small.
So the whole town had 500. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was. We had to combine 3 different towns just to make one school.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. What about music? Was there a lot of kids starting bands or anything, playing music?
Not a lot of kids in bands, but I mean, the band the school band was cool and everything. But yeah, generally it was just Zach and I in bands, and there wasn't a lot of people around that did it.
Uh-huh. Well, how did you get into music originally?
Well, I got into music because I started off. I was a jock. I didn't really, dive into music. I always had music playing, but my brother Zach wanted to play guitar, and wanted to be in a band. And he hit me up one day, and he said, "Hey, pretty much, do you want to play bass in my band?" And I said, "Sure." And I went up, got a bass and a little amp, and then the rest is history.
Oh wow! So he already had a band, or he was just wanted to form one and said, "Hey, I'll grab my brother to play bass."
Yeah, no, he had a band. It was a cover band. Shoot, when was that? Like 04, 05, something like that. I mean, we were young, and yeah. He just he had a cover band called Sequoia,
Okay.
and brought me in on bass.
So
and
how
then,
did you? Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, I was gonna say, then we started writing music, and the guys we were jamming with at the time weren't digging it. So Zach and I just separated, and because we had a lead singer and a guitar player at the time, and then we brought in some guys, auditioned them for vocals and everything, and I just told Zach, I'm like, man, I think I can do it better than these guys. And then we were just a 3-piece forever, me on bass and vocals, Zach on guitar, backing vocals, and then it just went crazy.
Wow, that's cool. Yeah, I was gonna ask how you went from bass player to vocalist, but there you go. That's amazing. So Saul, the first band you guys really were in out after that cover band, or did that kind of keep forming different?
No, literally
variations?
once the cover band broke up, Zach and I never went back. We were Saul ever since. So
wow.
yeah, so we were. I mean, it was like the Bedsaul brothers or the Saul brothers, but I mean, it was always Saul from there on out. And I've never been in any other band or project or anything.
And it's wow. So it's just been you and your brother and the drummer or a drummer. Wow, that's incredible. Well, tell me about the first shows that you started playing. Like you got into music. Your brother got a guitar, you got bass. But then what were those shows like with that cover band?
With the cover band, they were awesome. We were in high school, and it was cool coming back. I mean, the 8th period class was pretty much Blake's story time. So it was supposed to be psychology or something. And no, I just told stories about the gigs we played during the weekend, and and bar fights and whatever. So our whole high school class was getting like an education on like what it's like to be out in the bar scene and on Saturday nights.
That's funny.
It was cool, but the shows were awesome. We didn't venture out much. When we released our first self-titled record, it was just an EP, 5 songs. Before we even knew anybody had even caught wind of it, we had already won Band of the Year out of Sioux City, out of the Z98 radio station.
Wow.
And I found that out. We just getting a text message like, "Oh, congratulations, you guys won." And I'm like, "What are you even talking about? I don't even know what we're in."
You didn't submit for it, or did you
nothing.
guys? Do you know who did?
No, it must have been the radio station picked it up, and
wow.
I don't know what the heck happened, but yeah, it was like, okay. And so, yeah, that was awesome. Didn't even see that coming.
Wow, that's crazy. So they just texted you and said, "Hey, you won this Battle of the Bands." Did that do anything for you? You just get more airplay on the radio station?
More airplay, and then it was so early on that actually, paved our way into playing and booking shows in Sioux City. That's really what that did, and getting a lot of airplay. I mean, from there on out, Z98 out of Sioux City, we'd go in on they call it the morning adjustment, and we'd go in and debut the new songs and all that stuff. So it really, opened up a door getting to know the DJs and you know, being on the air quite a bit down there.
That's amazing. And you said that was off the first EP you guys put out? It was self-titled EP?
Yep, self-titled, yep.
What year did that come out?
Shoot, 07?
Okay. And then What's Embrace the Rain, was that the second one?
Second one, yep.
Okay. So tell me about that record. Was that self-produced and put out as well?
Yep. We did all everything up until this new record we've done all independently and you know, self-produced, you know, everything, you know. Yeah, no, it was everything. It was cool. It was a cool record. You know, we were drummers seemed to come and go quite a bit with us. So that was our second drummer. It's like it's like a Spinal Tap situation. I don't know what goes on, but
it's you and your brother and then revolving drummers.
Yeah. So
That's
I mean,
funny.
like literally our first 3 records was really just trying to get to know the drummer and, you know, put out a record. So now it's nice to have like the core group that, you know, is just there. It's nice.
Sure. Well, I mean, like from there, like Brother, for example, that song has like 4.5 million plays on Spotify.
Yeah.
Tell me about, you said that was self-produced and self-released as well?
Yep.
Oh my God. So from that first EP to the EOS record, it looks like there's quite a bit of time in between there. Was there like, did you put out anything in between like 2010 and 2019?
Yeah, we put out an EP called The Touching of Parallels. Very heavily Tool influenced. I think all of that stuff is taken down from all of the social medias and, you know, YouTube and everything. But yeah, we put that out. Yeah, that was with the new drummer as well. Okay,
so new drummer there.
Yeah.
EOS comes out. At this point, I mean, like I said, with EOS, it looks like you Brother has over 4 million streams. Like, what happened there? Did you guys get playlisted? Like, did the crowds just start getting bigger? Like, tell me about that song.
Crowds got a lot bigger. You know, well, it really started, Octane took its first swing on us. They wanted to be the ones to really break and, you know, the band and really push us. So them, you know, spinning us like 1,000 times in 2019.
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy amount. And they just wanted to, you know, push it out there because they believed in us and it was awesome. And that really helped the, you know, the push and the growth of the band for sure.
How did they get a hold of your record?
You know, it all stemmed from, we picked up management. The guy that produced and recorded, or I guess not produced, but the guy that recorded the Eons EP, he was in a successful band. Seasons After, they did like Cry Little Sister and Fighter, and like they were a very successful band. And he decided that they were calling it quits. They were just going to retire from it, but he continued to record and mix and master and do all the things. So he caught it. He pushed us over to his radio team that they were using and said, "Hey, check these guys out." They all loved it, and yeah, it just took off from there.
Wow. And how'd you meet? He started managing you, the guy that recorded you?
Yeah.
Is that kind of what happened? Oh, wow, that's cool.
Yeah. Well, we had to. He didn't want to at first because he didn't want to take on the challenges of being a manager and stuff like that. But
sure,
after the radio team got it and we berated him for a couple months, he finally broke him down and he started managing us.
That's funny. Does he still manage you guys now?
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, we're on the phone with him probably 15 times, at least 15 times a week.
That's awesome. Yeah. Wow. And well, then the next record you put out was Trial by Fire. That came out right after the Eons album, right?
Yep.
Okay. And like, well, with Eons and prior to that, were you guys touring at all, or did you stay mainly in the Iowa area?
We toured. We've done national tours. 30 days at a time, 2 weeks at a time. However, had to book out. But we did a lot of that. When we released the Eons record, it was in a very weird time for us. We took a 3-year hiatus.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And that was mainly, Zach got this wild idea that he wanted to get production and he wanted to lose his amp and go all, digital and get it all, everything that changed. You know, I stepped down from the bass and just went to vocals. We got William on bass, and everything we were just trying to evolve. So we took those 3 years, got these jobs that we were working 100-hour weeks, just saving up all the money we could. We bought production. We bought all new gear. I mean, everything. We just hunkered down and got that done. So yeah, during that time, before the record, we were doing all that. When we released the Brother, you know, the single, Zach and I were talking that if this song doesn't really take off in the form that we were hoping, you know, that it did, we were just going to call it quits, you know, sell the gear, kind of just, you know, go back just to do the grind. And, you know, it just took off.
Wow. And it landed for you guys, obviously.
Yep.
And so that's a song that Octane ends up picking up and then starts really kind of pushing your career that way.
Yep, for sure.
Wow, that's amazing. And then with that success, then were you able to, you know, ride that wave and, you know, start touring and playing with all the new gear and everything else you got going on?
Absolutely. Band? So when that took off, when we released it, you know, we just automatically, you know, got hooked up with STG, the booking agency, and they just started, you know, saying, hey, let's tour, let's get this going. And so we were just on the road, you know, Light the Torch. We did some big shows, Killswitch Engage.
Wow.
Who else? Clutch, In This Moment. Yeah, we were doing some awesome stuff. And then, you know, COVID hit.
Oh, wow. Okay. So where were you guys when COVID hit? Were you on the road or were you back home in between tours?
We were just getting ready we were going to do a Hell Yeah, All That Remains and Butcher Babies tour. And we were like 2 weeks out, getting ready for it, rehearsing and everything. And then they get a hold of us and said, everything's canceled. We're going into a pandemic.
Oh my gosh. That's awful.
Yeah, it was.
So you have all this stuff together. What about King of Misery? Was that recorded and done yet, or?
It was not actually.
Wow.
Okay, so when the pandemic hit, the label gets a hold of us and they're like, you know what, we got this downtime. We're not going to release the record quite yet. We don't know what's going on with the world. And are you guys opposed to doing a couple more songs? And, you know, we're like, no, you know, that's a pretty good idea. And so we went in and we did 3 or 4 more songs. And the last song we did was King of Misery. And we did it over Zoom just like this. We wrote it with David from Disturbed.
That's
just
awesome.
A couple acoustic guitars, singing it with him. And yeah, that's how it happened.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. And well, tell me about getting on. You're on Spinefarm Records.
Yep.
How'd you get signed with them? Because I think we kind of jumped a step.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's my fault. So how'd you get signed to the label?
Well, you know, it was cool. You know, so we released Brother independently, and it started blasting on Octane, and then it got picked up on all these radio stations. It reached 29 on the charts, and then all of a sudden these record labels are like, who the heck is this band and what are they doing, you know? So we got approached by a couple different ones, and Spinefarm, they wanted us bad. And so they flew us out to New York. You know, it was like the movies, you know, got a sign right there saying SAUL, you know, black.
Oh, wow.
We're like, man, we're in the right spot, you know? And,
yeah.
Took us out to, you know, wined and dined us. But, you know, before that we were talking business and it just felt right. They felt very like, you know, family oriented and like hardworking. And that's exactly what we come from. And yeah, it just felt right.
That's awesome. So you signed the deal, and then are they who helped you get, you know, the guy from Disturbed on the record and all that as well?
Yeah, Darren from the label, you know, he had worked with Trivium, and Trivium had done some work with David in the past, and when it was brought up to David about possibly doing a song with us, he's like, oh yeah, I've heard Brother, you know, 100 times and big fan of the band. He's like, I'd be happy to. So it was just like, that was a mind blower right there, just seeing a guy like David saying like, a big fan of you guys. And, you know, I really like what you're doing. And, you know, cause when we first got started writing, I had to like fangirl for like, you know, a good half an hour to an hour, just, you know, talking to him. And
I was going to ask that, was it nerve wracking? Like trying to write a song with a guy that you know, looked up to?
It was. It very much was. Especially because we weren't in the same room, You know what I mean? It's not like I can shake
Yeah.
his hand and we can get to work and, you know, be comfortable. It's just like a sterile, like computer environment, you know?
Right, right.
So, yeah, but it was very cool. And he was very in it. Like he wanted to be involved and part of it. And it was awesome. And, you know, and we got into some ideas and felt like we were beating a dead horse on a couple ideas. And finally I'm like, you know what, give me a couple days. I got this idea rolling in my head, and Zach and I went back and we came back to him with the chorus of King of Misery. And then we just started piecing it in from there.
Wow. So you just came to him and were like, okay, I have some parts, and he was sitting like you are, and we're zooming right now, and you'd play it for him, and then he would play it back, and you guys would kind of write it that way. That's crazy.
Yeah. We'd sit there, play it 2-3 times for him, and then I'd tell him the lyrics, and then, you know, sing the melody and everything for him. And then we would just go back and forth, and Zach would be playing the guitar, and me and, you know, David and I would be singing it together. And then he'd be like, yep, it's stuck in my head. That's a great part. I love that part. And, you know, so it was cool that it, you know, that was the way it happened.
Wow. And then so you guys were writing it that way. And then how does the record get recorded?
The record, we actually, we went down. We recorded at Aphotic Studios in Wichita, Kansas with Chris Dawson. That's our manager, engineer. And so he was like, just come down here and let's get it done. And it was, you know, pandemic. So we were like crossing lines and borders and
Sure.
But we had to get work done, you know, so we flew down there quick. And oh man, so we know more. We drove down there.
Okay.
We drove down there. We get the song done, and it's like 11 o'clock at night, something like that. And we're like, we shot it over to David for his approval and everything. And we're like, you know what? He's not going to answer us. He's 7 hours, you know, time difference, you know, and we'll just head home. It's done. We're totally happy with it. So we get home. It's a 7-hour drive one way. We get home. We pull in the driveway. Zach's like, all right, you know, he's heading home. We're going to bed. We wake up to like a text the next morning from David. We'll go down there and rephrase this one line. I'm like, you're kidding me, dude. So Zach and I hopped in the car that day, drove down there for one. It was technically one word.
Oh my God.
And then drove back.
Was that on the song? Was that on King of Misery?
That was on King of Misery. Yep.
Oh man.
And it was.
So there's one word on there that got switched.
Yeah.
7 hours. Wow.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
What was it? Terrifies me. Willing to stay. Yeah. You changed it to willing to stay, and I put like wanting to stay. Yeah.
From wanting to willing.
Yeah.
That's awesome. What about the rest? Is there more to come from King of Misery? Did you have more record or more songs coming out? What's the plan?
Oh, yeah, we have a lot of songs coming out, getting ready to drop. We're getting ready to drop the whole record on October 23rd.
Okay. Tell me about the album.
I'm stoked about this album. I mean, for our first record, it's our debut record. Mm-hmm. Before this, it's always been EPs, you know, 4 or 5 songs, and, you know, under a major label. And we worked some heavy hitters. I mean, David Draymond, Morgan Rose, Eric Ron, Blair Daly, JD from Ice Nine, Zach Malloy. I mean, there's some dudes that wanted to be on this record that definitely blew my mind of, you know, what they've accomplished. And then little Iowa boys roll up and say, hey man, I want to make a record. And they're like, cool, let's do it. You know? So it was cool that it happened that way. And there's, you know, some big boys on this record.
That's amazing. And like, was it different putting out a full length record versus an EP? Like, is there some sort of like systematic, I don't know. My question is basically with an EP of 5-6 songs, with this record, it's what, 10 or more. Was it hard to narrow down like the 10 songs? Was that more difficult that way than an EP? Right.
Well, you know, all EPs previously, I mean, even the Eons EP, it was Zach and I just wrote the songs, we perfected them, we went and recorded them. Now this one, after we released the EP, the record, or we signed with Spinefarm, and they're like, get in and do, you know, we want you to do a full-length record now. I'm like, well, we just released the EP, but okay.
Right.
So we went in, and it was a different experience because we never really wrote in the studio like during during writing and recording. So the whole record was a new experience. But you know, as far as trimming songs down, I think we try to write every song like it was going to be a smash hit. We didn't leave anything out. We didn't do any just filler songs. So we technically, I think, only B-side 1 or 2 tracks. So, you know, it was pretty easy because we almost used every single song we recorded.
That's amazing.
So it was good.
With like King of Misery, are you guys able to perform it at all as far as live streams or anything like that? Those live concerts, have you done anything like that?
Yeah, fortunately, I mean, we were able to. We did 4 shows this year. 2 at Sturgis, a festival in Southeast Iowa, and then we did a hometown show. It was a good show, 900 people. You know, everybody was trying to be safe, and we shot a music video for the album. So it's really cool.
Oh wow! So you shot that like within the last year?
Yeah, I mean, shoot, it was just Labor Day weekend we shot that.
Oh my gosh! So that was like right before, or places were shutting down, but they weren't completely shut down yet. You guys kind of played right under the wire there, huh?
Right. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because Labor Day weekend was it Memorial Day? Sorry, Memorial Day weekend or Labor Day weekend?
No, we did Labor Day.
Oh wait. Oh, so this is like September.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm getting confused.
Yeah.
I was thinking Memorial Day because there's Memorial Day right before that lockdown happened, and then okay, so stuff. How many people? 90 people, you said?
900.
900. How did that work? Like, tell me about the show.
It was awesome. It was awesome. So the whole show is a live shoot of the video and the meet and greet and everything, and so we had 900 people through the gate for the show. We had 150 for the meet and greet.
And were people spread out? Like, how were they able to do it? Okay.
Yeah, we tried to do as much spread out, but, you know, at the end of the day, you know, everybody's an adult, and, you know, you can't really tell them to wear a mask, and I'm not going to kick them out there. He bought, you know, a ticket and everything.
Right.
It was cool, you know, and every picture we took, you know, we were wearing masks and doing that. So it was cool. It worked out very, very well. I mean, we had people driving from, you know, Texas, South Carolina, Georgia, all over. People all over.
People are itching to see a show, man. That's cool that you guys got to play like live. That wasn't like a, you know, very segregated areas that people can stand, or like a drive-in or something like that. That's cool that you played like a legit show. Yep. We did a legit show. I mean, because we've done 2 or 3 live streams already, and it's fun. You know, they're cool. I'm glad everybody likes them, but they are just very sterile. Like, you know what I mean? It's just playing the songs. You know, so it was cool to get in front of a crowd again and actually, you know, entertain and be, you know, received back. So it was very cool. That's amazing. That's really cool. Well, dude, thank you so much for chatting with me today, Blake. I appreciate your time.
Thank you, sir.
I have one more question. I want to know if you have any advice for aspiring artists.
Just don't quit. You know, that's the thing. You know, I tell everybody, I think people fall into a category of I don't think they take their favorite artist seriously as like, what are they doing? You know, how are they doing it? You know, treat it, you know, almost as a business, and obviously be artistic and everything, but treat it like a business, to where like, how are they doing it? How are they getting the numbers? Where are they going? You know, treat it that way. I mean, even if you're just looking at what we're doing, or, you know, Seven Dust, or, you know, Ice Nine Kills, see what they're doing and try to emulate that and use that to your advantage, you know, it's of how to reach people. Bring it back.